Me and my lady down in the DR, we parted ways. It's over. It got me thinking, I haven't talked with you guys about dating on this channel at all yet. So today, we're going to be talking about international dating. Let's get to it. I'm actually just kind of waiting to check into my hotel room, so I'm just kind of hanging out. Get this on my selfie stick really quick. There we go. So I can rap with you guys. So, as I'm waiting to check into my room, I just want to chat really quick about the overall dating experience down here. And this is me being vulnerable, being real, really sharing what I've experienced with the women. For any guys out there who are thinking about, dating international, dating abroad, what to expect, what I like about it, what I dislike about it. So let's jump right into it, because I've never really talked about, look at that, chickens or whatever, hens. That's pretty funny. I'm just trying to tuck something in really quick, and then I'll get straight to it. Hola, hola. There's this young kid down here. So, first things first, it's just like any other place. You've got good people and you got bad people. You got folks that are, scheming, hustling for something, trying to take advantage of you, trying to use you for things. They see value in your, resources, and they want to try to get access to those resources and make those resources theirs. You also have a lot of people that are figuring things out, trying to figure out what exactly it is that they want to do, and essentially using you as a experimentation moment in their lives. So you like I said, you got all the same relationship dynamics that you would have in any other country. There's no difference. And I'm assuming I'm talking to Americans and people that speak English, maybe come from a little bit more affluent countries. But hey, look, this is a poorer country, and so you're going to get a higher concentration on average of women who are looking for resources. And that's their attraction to you. That's the value that they see in dating you, is, oh, this guy can change my life. If I date this guy, he can make my life better. He can make my life more fun, more prosperous, etc., etc. So, none of these things should be a surprise to you. I just want to start off the video with that. I'm trying to be somewhat quiet here because there's a lot of vendedores and workers, trabajadores around here, and I don't want to attract too much attention to myself. Just talking about my personal experience with dating down here, I'll say this. The last girl that I was talking to, we dated for about 9 months. She was not like the other girls. I've talked to a lot of women at this point, maybe more than 50, like just talking to. Had different levels of success with these women. Some I've come and visited a few at this point. Seriously dated just one. So the one that just ended was the first serious international relationship that I've ever been in. And overall, like looking back on the relationship, it was a pretty good relationship. I'm not gonna lie. Was it the most fulfilling and complete relationship that I've ever been in? I would probably say no to that. Hola, okay. The people down here are really, really cool. Most people, they very friendly, sociable, really just want to make money with you and have a good time. It's a cool vibe down here. There is an element of mystique and curiosity that a lot of the women down here have about the foreign men, which I would argue is not necessarily genuine attraction. I'm a firm believer that there are people in every part of the world, in your city, in a city right next door, 100 miles away, 5,000 miles away. I'm a believer that there's people who are attracted to you and could potentially be your husband or wife, in my case wife, who are located all across the world. I don't think that there's a specific place where you have to be at to find love or to find compatibility. Now, I do think, depending on what you're looking for, you can increase your odds of finding it by going to areas that are more centered around the same things that you're centered around. Like, for example, for me, very high on my list of attraction is people that are family-oriented, family-centric, that are not really looking for just a good time and somebody with money, but they're looking for a person of character and integrity and things like that. And so in the United States, for me, and this is just kind of explaining why I've chosen to kind of date internationally in the first place, is really centered around this idea. This idea of, where can I increase the odds? Where can I increase the likelihood that I find the core things that I'm looking for? And so that's why I took an interest in the Dominican Republic in the first place for dating prospects. But that's not the only reason I come here. I'm not just coming here just desperately searching for love. I genuinely love to travel. I genuinely love being in warm weather and tropical places. I mean, just to be able to be out at lunchtime right now in the middle of the winter and be standing in a pair of shorts and t-shirt, just making sure those people aren't walking towards me, is a blessing in its own right, so yeah, it's part of my journey. This is a real journey of a real American, a real content creator who's genuinely just looking for a good woman to build a family with, and taking some views. The views are amazing here. I'm just standing in a little rinky-dink, not even that well put together kind of district. This kind of looks like, honestly, like it was like a hopping place 20 years ago, and now it's just kind of gotten old. So it's still doing its thing, it's still functionally great, but it's kind of, a little bit older now, which is fine, it's just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Not every place is going to be this modern, posh, multi-million-dollar experience. So I'm in paradise right now. I'm having a great time. However, there are heartbreakers here. There are women here who really don't give a crap about you. They don't care about how they make you feel, how their actions affect you. because at the end of the day, in their minds, you're gonna leave and their life will go back to normal. At least that's the way it seems. And you got to watch out for those types. Now, are all of them like that? No, I wouldn't say all of them. Are most of them like that? I would say, yeah, I would say greater than 50%. There's usually signs, typically there are warning signs that they're going to treat you like crap or that things are not going to go well. The way that my most recent relationship ended was quite odd, and there were really no problems between us. Nothing bad was happening, but I think there's some health issues in her family. I think her sister, for example, is dealing with some health issues, tumor type situation. So I'd imagine that these things combined with some other things that she's dealing with in her personal life have just made her just feel like just not in the mood for dating. Like, timing is so important when you're dating somebody. Like, yes, you should be able to go through any ups and downs, thick and thins with the person, and they should stick with you. But let's be honest, most people starting off, they want that magic, they want that love story, that fairy tale. And if you think that women in other countries don't have their fantasies and their fairy tales that they want to come true, then you're just not being honest with yourself in the first place, right? So I always mention in my videos, backpack and a roller. That's all I carry, man. That's all I carry. This is a 10-day trip. So that's just the way it goes, like, women want their fairy tale, they want their knight in shining armor, their dream to come true, their blissful imagination of a great guy. One thing that I try not to do with anybody, no matter how good or bad the relationship was, is I try not to burn any bridges, because I believe that good things tend to come to people that do good things, that just continue to put out positivity and good energy. Good things tend to come those people's direction. Solely, exclusively, no, I'm not saying that. It's unfortunate to have a breakup, even though I treat this girl good, showed her a good time, always treat her with respect, all that good stuff, and to still find myself in this situation where it didn't work out. It sucks, but the same thing can happen in the United States. Not every girl, you're looking for one person, unless you're one of those poly guys. Take it easy. Don't flame me in the comments. What's my reaction to how I feel now that that's ended? I feel there's a mixture of feelings. You travel for whatever reasons you travel. Don't make dating be your reason to travel. That's a bad reason, because when it ends, when it fails, you're going to regret all of the money and time that you spent. Whereas with me, I'm here, I'm in this place. This is the place I would come even if I was not meeting somebody. So it doesn't really change my overall sentiment about this island. It doesn't really change my sentiment about traveling or anything like that, because that's not my reason for traveling, is to try to get a girl, you know what I'm saying? So that's my advice on that front. I don't know, I put it like this. I probably won't go out of my way to do it, at least for a little while. It's expensive, it's expensive to date internationally. You're talking about airplane flights, room and board, transportation, food, experiences while you're there with them. You know, you're trying to pack months and months of dating into, you know, a week or so with this person in the hopes that it's enough for them to feel like, you know, they want to take you on, in a serious long-term relationship. So palomitas de maíz, $50 y $100 por grande. Palomitas is the popcorn. So I imagine this is a pretty good sized bag of popcorn there. 50 pesos. Maybe that's less than $1. So it's a pretty cheap price for a bag of popcorn. Anyway, those are kind of my thoughts. I think would I do it again? Would I date internationally again? The answer is yes. I think the quality of the women are at least as good as some of the best women in the United States, with a lot less expectation and a lot more humility and a lot less entitlement. Not all American women are entitled. There's some great American women out there, but you got to sift through a lot more to find the good ones in the United States. And generally speaking, the good women in the United States, they get married fairly quickly. And once you're out of the age group, there's a real strong stigma in the United States that you should date within your age group. And for most people in the United States, your age group is like 5 years older and 5 years younger. And that stigma is very, very strong. And I think it keeps a lot of people from finding a great match in the United States, because there's so much pressure to stay in your group. But what men look for and what women look for in a relationship is completely different. You know, men, if you can sum it up into one word, most men are looking for fertility. Most women are looking for provision, you know, whether that's financial, whether that's safety, whether that's stability. They want men to provide something in exchange for their beauty and fertility. You know, that's what most men are looking for, is beauty and fertility. Guys have their own definitions of what beauty and fertility is, but, you know, some people like tattoos, some people like long hair, some people want the big butt, some people want the flat stomach, some people want them really, really thin, some people want them really, really thick. So guys have all kinds of different preferences when it comes to what beauty is, but when it comes to the definitions, at the end of the day, we're talking about fertility and beauty. Can you make me a family? Like the guys that want to get married, right? It's all about, you know, can you make me a family? And are you going to make me look good when I'm with my friends and family? Are you somebody I can show to my mom and she'd be like, wow, she's really gorgeous, you know, that type of thing. So that's kind of the dynamic that's at play. And I think that a lot of women in these other countries are higher on the beauty scale and higher on the fertility scale. Primarily, I would say, because the age gap range is a lot bigger. Like the girl I was just dating, she was 11 years younger than me, and she was totally fine with my age. Another girl I was talking to, while she is Um, how old is she? She's, I think, 6 or 7 years younger than me. However, she's dated a guy who was 20 years older than her. Now this girl is from Colombia, so again, another country. So yeah, I just think the dynamics are still favorable in places like this. You just have to be strategic about who you give your effort and your energy to, and just be careful, not to give it away too soon. This girl is, like I said, very odd, because we spent 9 months, talking. I've come here and visited her before, so she already knew who I was, knew what I was about. I've shared my life with her. She knows a lot about me. So we've gone through some situations together, and I thought we had at least enough foundationally to start to build some regularity. So I was caught off guard when it ended the way that it did. However, it is what it is, that's how dating goes. Sometimes people just decide it's not a good fit, or they don't want to do it anymore, and you just have to keep moving forward and stay positive and not let one person ruin the party. We're still on the hunt. We're still looking. Still a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential out here, but I'll probably take a break on it just because of the cost, and focus more of my spending on exploring places that I want to go, maybe doing some more family trips. Like I said, there's other people out there, so it's not like it's the end of the world in terms of trying to find somebody. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How has your experience been dating internationally? I think for me, it's not likely to be my last time. I have fluency in Spanish now, so I can use that in a relationship. I know how to navigate international travel, especially in the Caribbean islands, so I can get down here fairly easily, not a problem. And I genuinely enjoy being here. So yeah, I don't know what the future holds or what this is going to look like, but I'm still fairly positive on the whole situation. I just think you want to have some budget, you know what I'm saying, if you're going to do it, because it's not going to be cheap, especially if you're trying to impress them. Even in a place like this, it's not going to be cheap, because you got a lot of different factors that you got to deal with. You've got, looks like they're taking off, so this is how it goes down here, man. They ride on the moto cars, motos. I think in South America they call them motoconcho, but it's pretty common for people to just hop on bikes, man, and get moving. I'm waiting to check into my room so I can hit the beach down there, but that's gonna have to wait. But yeah, I'm curious how you guys have dealt with international breakup. For me, I didn't try to talk about all the things I didn't like about her and insult her or anything like that. It's just like, hey, I don't understand what's the problem. She didn't really want to share, and so I have some unanswered questions, but I just feel like from the things that I know about her, you can usually deduce things from people just by their behavior and stuff. But I think she's probably dealing with some health issues that she doesn't want to talk about, either related to herself or related to her sister, and it's just not something that she wants to involve me in. Maybe right now she's facing potential death in the family, and that's really hard, and she's just not comfortable opening up about her feelings. It could be a lot of things, you know. It's not necessarily that I did something wrong, you know. So, and that's the thing that I've learned in growing in my maturity and dating, is not everything's about you, bro. You know, just because a girl breaks up with you, or which usually I'm the one doing the breaking up. Like, I'll let them say it, but I'll put the environment there so that it causes us to break up. This time has genuinely caught me off guard, because everything was going so well, in my opinion. When life comes at you, you know, with these different deaths in the family, and just really, really heavy things that are on your heart, it's tough. It's tough. So not angry at her, not hostile, not gonna, you know, try to bash her or tear her down or anything like that. My thought is just, you know, things happen, breakups happen, you're looking for one person. The stars have to kind of align for you to find that person that you're going to marry. You know, like, it's not just going to happen just because you're, you know, charming and you have sparkly eyes and, you know, all that good stuff. There's a lot more that goes into it. They have to be healthy. They have to be in a season of their life where they're receptive to it, which is a big part that is easy to overlook. Is, are they even receptive to it, you know? Because if they're not, you know, you can easily find yourself with someone who's just entertaining themselves with something. You know what I'm saying? Which is a lot of it. That's a lot of what's going on, is, you know, folks entertaining themselves with the relationships, as opposed to actually trying to date for marriage. All right, but yeah, let me know, where have you dated? Like, which island or which country have you dated internationally, if you have? If you have not, let me know. Are you thinking about dating internationally? Have you thought about it? Is it something that you want to do? What kind of experiences have you had with it? Good, bad, ugly, unfortunate, really, really terrible, or really, really good? You know, are you married to an international love? I still think it's worth it. I still think it's a good option. You know, I still think there's a lot of, you know, cool people. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Appreciate you guys letting me be vulnerable and talk about you know, some of the things that have impacted me with international travel. Yeah, what should I cover in the next video? I'm gonna wrap this one up. It's your boy Dion, coming to you from Puerto Plata. I'm on the north side of República Dominicana, esperándome y explorando esta isla. Así que nos vamos al la próxima experiencia. Boy. All right, that's gonna do it, guys. See you in the next one. Peace. And I'll finish out with a little view of the island. Let's go, baby.